Now coming to the next derivation on one-dimensional heat conduction equation. This time it is a long cylinder. So the figure 1 shows a long cylinder, and the heat is conducted in a one-dimensional mode, that is along radially or axially. Consider the element. So consider a thin element of thickness delta r, which is shown here. Delta r in a long cylinder. Now, as I assumed earlier, that in rectangular wall, the same assumption lies here also, that is, the density of the cylinder is taken to be rho and is constant. Specific heat is C, which is also constant, and length of the cylinder is taken to be capital L, as shown in the diagram. The area of the cylinder normal to the direction of heat transfer at any location is A is equal to 2 pi r into L. Now students, as discussed earlier with you and stressed from my side also, that heat transfer is always normal to the surface. So in this case the heat transfer will be as shown in the diagram. You can see that it is normal to the surface, and the heat transfer surface, therefore the heat transfer area will be 2 pi r. So therefore 2 pi r is the circumference into length. So this is the total area, that is from which heat is transferred. Again stressing on the thing that it is not the cross sectional area, it is the surface area. So I am reminding you again and again that please ensure the heat, what is the heat transfer area. It may be a cross sectional area also, it may be a surface area also. So depending upon the geometry you have to decide. Now moving to the further. So performing an energy balance equation, as done earlier also, the performing an energy balance. So an energy balance on the thin cylindrical shell element is being performed. So as I said earlier, you should know the energy balancing of each and every element, and the heat conduction equation for long plane wall energy balance equation, and along the cylinder is same, there will be no change. So moving towards the next slide, where the energy balance equation is shown. Now students, you can see and compare with the large plane wall energy balance equation that these are same. There also I have written the same equation, and here the energy balance equation is also written as same. The only difference lies here that it was in that equation it was delta x, that is the thickness, and here it is r, the radius of the element, because it is a cylindrical element. In the same pattern as written earlier for the plane wall, I have written the equations, rearranged it, and then described the energy content or change in energy of the element in the same fashion as described for the plane wall. Then you must be now knowing that heat generation is a volumetric phenomena, therefore capital E into volume of the element, a slight change in the equation. Here volume of the element will be area into delta R, as compared to the plane wall where it was A into delta X. Substituting all these equations, that is equation number 2 and equation number 3 in equation number 1. So equation 2 and equation 3 we have to put in equation number first. So the whole equation gets transformed into this particular equation. Now you can see compare this equation which I have obtained just now with the large plane wall equation. The equation is almost same, or you can say delta x is replaced by delta r. Now here area is 2 pi r into L as discussed earlier. Now since the if I take the average radius of the element, that is at the middle of the element, then the area will be somewhat a is equal to 2 pi 2 pi r plus delta r by 2 into L. But this thickness will be very small, therefore we can assume that as we take the limit, you know that we take the limit as delta r tends to 0, then area will almost remain constant. That means what I mean to say is, as delta r tends to 0, in the plane wall equation I have used delta x tend to 0, delta r by 2 will be drop out because the thickness is very less. So rearranging the equation or dividing it by a delta r, previously in large plane wall divided by a delta x. Students, I am giving you a comparison between large plane wall and cylindrical element in each and every step, so that you can compare uh, them, both of these. A same comparison I will be giving it with the spherical shell also, so that you can resemble that there is on in steps there is no change, only the change occurs in the that in place of delta x I am using a delta r. So in the same fashion I have written there. Now you can again see that there it was written x, now here it is r, and the same equation is written, and hence this is the final equation or the general equation which you can consider. This is the most general equation for the case of cylindrical element or the cylinder. Now on the same, moving on the same pattern, for variable thermal conductivity, the equation will be written in this pattern only. Now look at that 1 by a is transformed to 1 by r. Okay, so because why? Because the area is 2 pi r into L, and length I have taken to be constant, and 2 pi is a constant, therefore the whole equation will be reduced into this pattern. For constant conductivity, that means if I assume the thermal conductivity to be constant, then the above equation, that is this equation, will reduce to this form. Now you will be aware that how this equation has arrived. Since thermal conductivity is constant, therefore it can be taken out from the under the differential sign, and it is then written divided by the whole equation, and alpha is called thermal diffusivity. For the case of steady state means it does not changes with time, therefore the equation reduces to this one. How it has been obtained? Because I have reduced assume this to be 0, and if I take a transient, that is steady state is not present, but internal heat generation is 0, therefore this equation will be obtained. So I think you must now compare both the derivations, that is the derivation of the large plane wall and the cylindrical shell, that they resemble they resemble each of they resemble each sorry they resemble themselves in stepwise, but change is there from x to r. Now moving towards the further heat conduction equation in a sphere. Again the same things I have written, specific heat to be constant, radius is r, capital R, and heat transfer location will be area is equal to 4 pi capital R square. So for a small internal thickness delta T, it can be represented as the one dimensional equation can be written as, now you can again see that this equation is same as written previously also. The only change is a capital R. Now again the same things, the same equations as written for cylindrical element till equation 3. Now there is a small change here. A delta here area will be 4 pi r square, because the area of the sphere will be, surface area of the sphere will be 4 pi r square. Now again the same assumption that area is 4 pi r plus delta r ka whole square for the middle of the element, and in further analysis, that is, as delta r tends to 0, delta t will also delta t tends to 0, delta r will also tends to 0. Therefore the equation reduces to in this format. And now you can see the variable conductivity equation. Now again remember that surface area here is, for the case of sphere, 4 pi r square. Therefore in place of r, that is when cylinder was considered it was r, now it is r square, and all other things you can just see that are same. So transient heat, transient no heat generation, steady state no heat generation, so all these are same. Now now students, till now we have derived three cases: a plane wall, a cylinder, and a sphere. So what must be the, so combined a general form of all these equations can be written. Now look up this equation, what is it is written and how it can be reduced. The equation written is 1 by r to the power n del over del r, r to the power n multiplied by thermal conductivity into dV T over dV r plus internal heat generation per unit volume into rho c dV T by over dV T, where small t represents the time. Now what does the n represents? If I take n equals to 0, so what does this mean? As I put n equals to 0, the equation r to the power n becomes 1, and hence the whole equation reduces to the plane wall, and replace r by x. So the whole equation reduces to the plane wall equation. For n equals to 1, the equation will be of cylinder, and for n equals to 2, the equation generated will be of sphere. So this equation is simplified for steady state or no heat generation case as discussed before. So this is the case in which no or simplified steady state equation is written. This equation can be simplified for steady state or no heat generation as discussed. Okay. Now moving towards the next important point, general heat conduction equation. Till now I have considered the heat conduction only in one direction. Now considering the heat conduction in three dimension, to be in three dimensions, that is along the length delta x, width delta y, and depth delta z. That means heat is being conducted into all the three coordinates. Now assuming our first of all for rectangular coordinates, that means the case now discussed will be of a large plane wall. sorry for that. Now in the present diagram you can see a large plane wall in which heat is being conducted in all the three dimensions, that is qy plus delta y. Okay, just now remember your heat conduction equation from for a large plane wall. uh, the same equations are going to be generated here also. So qy into qy delta y, that means this is of thickness delta y. For x it is again x plus delta x, and for z it is again z plus delta z. The important thing to be noticed here is the area. As I've said earlier also, that heat is always conducted normal to the surface area. So therefore when qy, the heat is conducted on the y direction, then the area considered will be this one, that is delta z into delta y. In the same fashion all other areas are considered. So this is an important aspect. Now the energy balance equation, as written earlier for three elements, that is for the cylinder, large plane wall, and the sphere, this is also written. As you can see, rate of conduction equation at x y z. As in plane wall, we have only assumed in one direction. Now here the heat is being conducted in all the three directions. Therefore, rate of heat conduction at x y z and rate of heat generation inside the element. Now see this one here, nothing is introduced, that is neither x nor y nor z, because heat generation is a volumetric phenomena. So in this now moving towards the rate of change of energy content, then rate of x plus delta x, y plus delta y plus z plus delta z. Now as written for the large plane wall for a heat conduction equation, large plane wall heat conduction equation for a one dimensional, here it is written for three dimensional. Therefore I will introduce x y y z element also. As you can see, in the same fashion but in extended form for the yz, the equation is then reduced. Again as change energy of the element, again it is the same form. Then the change here is of volume element. Here the volume of the element will be delta x plus delta x into delta y into delta z. Now putting all these equations, equation number 2 and 3 in equation 1, we will obtain this equation, which after dividing with the volume of the element, that is delta x delta y delta z, we are getting this equation. Now since now just look at that, ax, that is area in the x direction, will be y delta y into delta z. In the y direction will be delta x into delta z, and in delta x delta y. So it means that heat conduct is being conducted normal to the surface, not taking the limit. Limit means as delta x tends to 0, delta y tends to 0, delta z tends to 0, and as delta t tends to 0. So equation yields this one. Now again the equation 4 is reduced according to Fourier's law. That means by these laws the equation 4 is reduced to a standard format, and this is that standard format. So here you can see the reduced equation, and it is very important. It is also known as Fourier-Biot equation. Remember it, as it may be asked sometimes in exams also. This is equation is known as Fourier-Biot equation, and it is also written as del operator, del square t into e generation by k 1 by alpha. Now the above equation can be reduced when I am saying a steady state equation, then it is called Poisson's equation. Now you must be aware that whenever I am saying a steady state equation, then it means which term is zero, uh, time term is, that is no change with time. Therefore equation reduces this, and hence it is also known as Poisson's equation. When I am not considering the steady state, that is the transient state with no heat, but with no heat generation, then what does this mean? It means that this term will be zero, therefore the equation will be this one. And if I say that steady state and no heat generation, okay, the steady state means this term 0, no heat generation means this term 0, so the equation reduces to this one, and it is called Laplace equation. Okay, so in the special cases, that means if one dimensional heat conduction equation is considered, then what will happen? Then delta y delta z will be drop out, and we will obtain the equation del square t by del x square equals to 0, which is the standard one dimensional heat conduction equation. So students, here rectangular coordinates are, I've explained the rectangular use of rectangular coordinates. Now we shall start the cylindrical coordinates.